What's up, you guys? James Strickland here. Welcome to week 71 on my road to 700 pounds on bench press. So I bet you guys weren't expecting me to hit you with the left. Normally I hit you with the right, but either way, keeping you guys on your toes. So I'm not even going to pretend like I have a big surprise for you guys, because you guys obviously saw in the thumbnail, this was a amazing week. Last week was like 565, or actually 555. And obviously we are at 585. So I'm not even going to tease you guys and act like I didn't, we don't know what happened this week. Very, very exciting week. I told you guys last week and the week before, these weeks are getting very exciting. This new training split is keeping me healthy and relaxed and recovered. And I don't think it could be better. I think this is literally the secret sauce that I've been waiting to kind of do to get me over this hump. But we will definitely see. If you guys are new to the channel, welcome. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit notifications. I'm going to try to get you guys a weekly recap video of my training on my road to 700 pounds for a raw bench press. Still looking to be the lightest official guy to do a raw bench press at 700 pounds. I want to definitely congratulate Johnny Harris. He did an unofficial 700 at Iron Wars with CT Fletcher, and definitely congratulations to you, man. I mean, that is amazing. Definitely being under 300 pounds and pushing 700 is a feat of strength. So my hat's off to you, man. But definitely congratulations. If you guys aren't following him, definitely check him out over on Instagram. I'll tag him a little bit later down in the description. But anyways, if you guys are not new to the channel, definitely welcome back. I really appreciate you guys subscribing and tuning in for my journey on 700 pounds. As you know, I do a weekly recap, and afterwards, if I have any time, I'll do some Q&As, or maybe I'll tell you about my favorite foods or music or whatever, as I've done in the last couple weeks. This week, I'm going to go ahead and dive right on in, because I'm telling you, it's a breakout week. It's definitely just one of those weeks that you have in your training where you know that as long as you can stay healthy, this is the one. So here's the recap. Day one, as always, my heavy bench day. Last warm up here at 405. That's pretty much, I knew that it was going to fly up. I just was feeling it on an 8-day split. I've had lots of rest or recovery going into this workout. This is one of my last singles here, or actually the last single, 495. Perfect. Exactly the way I wanted. So first set calls for 565. It actually was 565 for 3. My PR is 555 for 5. So I was actually somewhat kind of going for a 5 here. But after the fourth one, you'll see here, I just thought, you know what, we got to go up in weight. This is definitely moving a lot easier than it should, or at least that I was thinking it should. So second set went a moderate 10 pounds heavier. The goal was just 575 for 3. Really didn't have any, goals, to break a PR. My PR for 4 here is actually 570. So this is a 5-pound PR for a 4 rep. Very, very exciting. And I definitely have more in the tank. As you saw in the thumbnail, we're going up. So 585 here. You'll see how this looks, but I have never moved 585 for 3, even on my run for 672 about a year and a half ago. My 585 did not move this fast, and with as much energy and intensity. It's over, like I said, overall, very, very good day. The last time I was doing kind of weights like this, I was on a 7-day split. So basically I would bench every Monday. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but an extra 24 hours of rest can do wonders, especially if you're having little naggy things, tendonitis or joint problems or elbow pain or shoulder pain, whatever it is. Just an extra 24 hours on top of what you're already resting could mean the difference between making a lift and not. That first one there moved faster than the 585 a few weeks ago, and even the third one here moved faster. I think I could have had at least another one in me, if I grinded it out, maybe a 5th, but there's no point in doing that. Reps do not equal a 1 rep PR. So moving on here, I do have a little bit less energy because I continue to go up in weight a little bit there, but these weighted dips, this is actually the last set of 270 pounds above body weight, sitting about 295-ish. Got lightheaded there, wanted to kind of reset and go ahead and try this again, going for a set of 5. Last week, I believe we were at 250. And then this week, the heaviest I got before this set was 225. Just called it. Just lightheaded. Could be a number of things going on, but I honestly just think that blood pressure just spikes really, really high when you have that much weight hanging on your hips. Not to mention my body weight included. But moving on to flies, nothing lost there on those dips because I did get a nice solid set with 225, I believe it was, for 5. 170 pounds in chain off the ground on each hand here. Going through a few sets of flies. Flies are moving along, definitely hitting PRs. Every single time I hit another rep on these is a PR, so we're doing really, really good on those. Moving on to my chest supported dumbbell rows. Heaviest I can go in this gym, and most gyms really, is 150 pounds each hand. So we're just kind of going up 1 rep each week. This being 14 reps for 4 sets. Showing you the last couple sets here. Definitely got some fatigue already built up. Last few reps a little bit slower, but that's okay. Really working on getting a squeeze at the top. Really happy with how these are moving though, considering this is 300 total pounds, 150 in each hand. Those stabilizer muscles are really getting worked, and this is really helping the bottom part of my bench big time. Got some seal rows later in the week. You'll see those, and those help a little bit more range of motion. This called for max reps for the pull downs. I have gotten away from, I told you guys I was going to be moving away a little bit from those rolling tricep extensions. They were just messing with my elbows a little bit too much. Elbows feel fine now, but the heaviest I can go here with this was 150 pounds, so I just really didn't work these too hard. I will demolish triceps later in the week. Moving on, day 2 here, 300 pounds on the rear delt fly. Keeping these actually pretty nominal, not working up too much heavier. As you guys have seen, I've done upwards of 365 on these before. Not really wanting to tear the arms and elbows up. It's just a matter of moving this kind of weight. So I've been doing these at a moderate, if you can say, 300 pounds. I'll be supersetting these a little bit later with some shoulders sets that actually include some rear delt flies with dumbbells. So I'm not completely destroying them on the rear delt fly there. This set called for 430 for a set of 10 close grip. This is saving my shoulders. This actually was done the following Monday. So this week's heavy bench day was actually done on Thursday. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday rest, and then Monday I'm actually hitting this. So this split's really throwing my schedule off, but it's working. So I went ahead and went up to 455. This is definitely a PR on decline for a set of 10. I had more in the tank, but once again, we're not trying to max out all the reps necessarily. There is a point where the gains are not going to be there, and the pressure on the shoulders, the pressure on the pecs, whatever I'm doing is a little bit too great. So I don't want to risk anything that much. These are the chest supported rows, kind of substituted for seal rows. This is the 3rd set. 405 here, went up here on the last set with 415. You'll notice on this one, I really worked a little bit better squeeze at the top, paused at the bottom so I could concentrate on each rep, just to kind of isolate that back just a little bit more. And I really feel that my mid-back, lats, traps, they're really getting built up, really, really solid. And this is definitely gonna help and is helping with bench. These are a nice recovery exercise, as you guys have probably seen before. The straight arm, fully extended dumbbell pullover. Keeping the elbows from going completely straight just because I don't want them to bug me. Like I said, they were kind of bugging me on the tricep rollbacks last week, so I wanted to just kind of keep these really concentrating on the pecs, really stretching that pec out, kind of opening the shoulders. Really good, kind of a therapeutic exercise, if you will. Not real heavy. 60 pounds is all I'm using here. Haven't really gone up much since I started these in the beginning of the off season, was about 50 pounds. So we've only gone up like 10 pounds, and that's okay. I could probably do this with 150 pounds. It's not meant to be a super heavy exercise. Plus, you got to be real careful with those shoulders in this kind of movement too. You don't want to overstretch and have that kind of weight. So here's the other superset I was talking about. This is 25 pounds each hand, 2 sets here. Each exercise in this superset is 10 reps, 10 front raises, and then you'll see I go 10 side raises, and then I'll bend over and do 10 rear delt flies. Now, 25 pounds is not super heavy, but after those first 2 movements, your shoulder joint, your rotator cuff, all that is very taxed. And it's not meant to be a super heavy movement. This is really just a shoulder health exercise, but I'm really feeling that any kind of tendonitis that's wanting to build up in these areas is really going away with this kind of blood flow exercise. Got some wide grip lat pull downs here, 250 pounds. Got basically the full stack here, and you'll see I've been really working my lats. These lat pull downs have been a weakness in the past. I still consider them one of my weaker accessory points, but once again, the stronger they get, the stronger everything gets. This is a little bit closer grip, getting a little bit of a different angle on those lats. This actually is a slightly easier movement for me, so it does allow me to really keep going after I'm already fatigued with the first couple sets of lat pull downs. And I'm not going to show you all the sets this week, but 245 pounds here for 12 sets of 9. And actually what I did is I was in a little bit of rush for time. I went ahead and cranked out like 15, 20 reps here on the first set, and then started kind of doing 15s and 15s all the way up until about 108 reps total. Normally I just go through my normal range of sets, but I didn't want to be short for time. I was trying to get some family stuff taken care of. Like I said, my schedule's a little bit jacked up just because of the 8-day split, and actually this week was pushed off just a little bit more. I was supposed to work out on Sunday according to my plan, so it would have been Thursday, my heavy bench day, and then Friday, Saturday off, and then Sunday hit my second bench day. Not going to work out on Sunday. It's my family day, church day. So, I went ahead and did it on Monday. That was yesterday. Today's Tuesday. I have got, and this is a very strange feeling, but I'm supposed to be on basically like a third week. This next week should be another heavy week, or it is another heavy week. And then the following week is my planned deload week. Well, I spoke with my coach this morning. I work with Josh Bryant, if you guys are not familiar. A really good guy. He coaches Julius Maddox, the all-time world record holder. If you don't know who that is, go check him out. Coaches Jeremy Hornstra, a lot of good guys that are good benchers and good deadlifters and good squatters and all-around lifters. But been working with Josh for about 3 years now, and definitely attribute a lot of my progress to his strategies and working really well with him. But talked to him this morning and said, hey, I'm not actually I'm supposed to hit, if I would have worked out on Sunday this week, I would have hit my next bench day on Friday. And that kind of throws things off for me this week, considering next week and kind of everything like that. And so basically what I'm going to do is, instead of hitting my bench day on Friday, I don't want to do it on Saturday because it's just a long day. That's family day for me. If it was a short workout, maybe, but not for my heavy bench day. And like I said, Sunday, I'm not going to do that. So it pushes that till Monday. So I've literally got a 10-day split this week. Well, since I'm done with the week now, this being Tuesday that I'm doing the recap, I have basically another 6 days of complete rest. And so essentially I'm taking a deload. Now, I do very well taking the week off like that. I'm not going to really just sit around and do nothing. I will probably get in the pool a little bit, do some laps, do some mobility work, some band work, maybe some push-ups, just to get some blood flow. I don't want to just be sitting around doing nothing, but essentially I'm taking a deload. So the deload's being taken early, which really I think will help me quite a bit, because it's basically rest. That I'm going to come back next week. Next week, we are scheduled to do 600 for 3, 600 for a triple, which is my best right now. So you can bet that I'm going to try to see what I got in the tank for that, and we'll just be excited to see whatever we can get. And that basically means that we're getting to the point to where we need to start looking at some serious meets and things like that going forward. But I am excited to share this with you guys. It's been a journey up to this point. We're basically, in the off season and started kind of our strength phase. But this next 6 days of rest really is going to build up to, I think, something really special, even more special in the following weeks. But as always, I got a section here for you guys. We're going to do the Q&As, and I have a couple of questions that were submitted this week, so I'll go ahead and dive right on into those. First one is from right here on YouTube, Simon Dean. He asks, how do you build power off the chest in bench? So basically, the easiest thing I can say for that is your back is a very big muscle. It is going to move that weight off your chest. Your pecs are very important as well. So you're going to want to work the weakness. And so probably the weakness is in your back. So you want to incorporate a lot more back rows, whatever that type of row is. I have a preference. I like seal rows and chest supported rows, but you can do one arm rows, meadows rows, lat pull downs. Mix it up. Don't stick with one type of row. Mix it up a little bit. It's okay to switch it up or have several during the week. Definitely work those. Work your pecs, work flies, either dumbbell flies or chain flies, band flies, wide grip push-ups, wide grip bench. Those are just a few exercises to work your pecs. The other thing that I think is really, really beneficial if you're slow off the chest is working dead press. And that is basically you set up in a squat rack because you want to be safe about it, and you don't want the bar to be sitting on your chest at the start of the lift. You want it a little bit above your chest, probably an inch or so, and you're going to basically have a dead press of that bar. You're not going to actually bring the bar down from a lift-off point. You're going to have it starting on the rack and push completely up, and then as soon as it hits the top, you let it down slowly, and then you relax and set up for another rep. You never do more than one rep on a dead press. And so you're basically just working the bench press without a stretch reflex. The stretch reflex is basically the fancy way of saying when you take the bench press bar and you bring it down to your chest, you're stretching your muscles in order to get a rebound when you let it go. Even if you're not doing touch and go, you still have a stretch reflex. You feel that tightness at the bottom. That's your muscles trying to pull against what you're trying to do. And as soon as you release that and push up, you have a little bit of momentum from the muscles fibers themselves being stretched. The dead press takes that out of it. So it's like a dead lift. When you go to do a deadlift, you're basically lifting the muscle, lifting the weight without any type of stretch reflex. When you do a squat, you're going down and you're stretching those muscles, and you have a stretch reflex at the bottom of the squat. So you can do a dead bench the same way you can do a dead squat. You just need to set up the bar to where you don't have the downward motion in the lift at all. It's just completely up, and when you're letting it down, you're actually resting it on the safety pins. I think that's probably the best one to build power off the chest, for me anyways. Some other stuff you can do is incorporate bands and chains. And so as the weight comes off of your chest, if you're using bands, the bands start to stretch, and they give stretch the whole time throughout the lift. There's different ways to set those up, but definitely just look into using some bands. I wouldn't use a whole heck of a lot at first. Probably start with one small band and just get used to it, and then work up from there. I don't really put any super heavy bands into my training. If anything, it might be maybe 100 pounds worth of tension with about 400 or 500 pounds on the bar. So if you have 315, I wouldn't go slamming on 100 pounds of band tension, 50 per side. It's probably going to be a little much. But to each their own. Start small, work up in little increments. The other thing is chains. You guys have seen me use some chains in the past, similar to the chain flies, but when you're using them on the bench bar, it's actually going to deload some of that weight at the bottom of the lift when it's on your chest. So as you start to drive upwards into the middle part of the lift, the chain is unloading from the floor, or it's loading from the floor, and it's adding weight to the bar essentially. So it's getting heavier as you go up, which will also help with lockout too. Just a couple things though to check out on building power off the chest. I really think the biggest thing is having a bigger back to work off of, so a stronger back and stronger pecs. But I appreciate that, Simon. And next question is from Instagram. It's Huey underscore JR underscore cash. And he asks, when is your next meet? Well, it's funny that you asked that. And I actually get asked that quite a bit. And I have an answer for you guys. So excited. We are officially in meet prep. Talked to my coach. We decided on a meet. I'm already registered for it. I've already got my plane ticket for it. I am good to go. So the meet is April 25th. It's going to be in Lombard, Illinois. It is APF, American Powerlifting Federation. It's called Pressing the Pieces Together, Bench Press Benefit for Autism. So not only is it a bench press only meet, which is really cool because I don't have to worry about squat or deadlift. I can go straight up and bench. It is benefiting autism. I have a lot of friends that have either autism or friends that have children with autism, and I'm sure a lot of you guys that I'm talking to may know somebody or yourself has that, and I definitely want to get behind this. I think it's a great cause. I have yet to do a meet that has a good cause behind it other than just me selfishly kind of lifting. So I'm going to go ahead and put down a link below. If you guys would help support me, even $1. I'm trying to raise some money for the meet. Basically, all the money goes to research to the Autism Society of America. But definitely click that link. Throw in $1 for me. It's not going to me, it's going for them, but it definitely will help for the lifters to come together and create, a lifting environment that is benefiting autism. So I really, I think this is a great meet to go to. Not to mention, some of my first meets were in the APF, and I have a lot of friends, followers, a lot of support system up in the Chicago area, Grand Rapids area. Just the kind of, I guess it's the upper, whatever you would call. It's not the Midwest, but that upper area of the states. But definitely looking forward to going up there and competing with you guys. There's a lot of great bench pressers that are going to be up there that I've known for a while. So definitely looking forward to that. It's going to set an environment that I need to go ahead and just bust something big. Obviously, you guys know the goal, road to 700 pounds, but let's not sell ourselves short. Let's see what we can do. But definitely excited. Like I said, it's going to be in Lombard, Illinois at 2XL Powerlifting. If you guys want to look it up, they have a website and definitely on Instagram. But I'll keep you guys posted here in the following weeks. We are basically 11 and a half weeks out. So like I said, officially in meet prep. This is a little bit earlier than we have in the last couple training cycles for a couple reasons. I don't have 11 total training weeks, if you will. Like I don't have 11 bench days until the meet because my training split's a little longer. But I do have, I think it's about 9, which is perfect because the way that we did things back the last couple training cycles is I started things kind of like on week 8 and then basically 2 deloads, and I really only had about 6 bench days. Well, when we get up to about 675, and this is the strategy going forward in this particular cycle, is instead of benching 675 or 665 and then benching again the 7 days later and not being quite rested enough and taking 675 as an attempt and missing it for whatever reason, this extra day or 2 days or whatever I need at that point in time, I'm going to take it. And I think that's going to really benefit me for those higher reps as we start going up. Plus, we're not going to rush into the higher reps and the singles just yet. We still have 11 weeks, probably 9 training weeks. And next week being basically the 10 and a half week mark, we're going to be hitting 600 for 3. So I think that puts us in a very good strategic spot to really put some numbers up. I think by the time the cage rolls around, the animal cage in Columbus, Ohio, we'll be probably doing doubles in the mid 600s. And that's a really good spot to be in. The animal cage has got a lot of energy. I think that's going to put me in a good position to put up some good numbers, and I'll use that as a training day as well. So you guys will get a recap for that. But that is going to wrap it up for this week's weekly recap. I mentioned IG and Instagram a while ago. If you guys are not following me over there, I'd really appreciate you to follow me over there at SwimHack. Put a lot of my daily posts up there. As a matter of fact, I didn't cover it in this video because I told you guys it was going to be mostly bench training or all bench training in my recaps. But I am training my squat and deadlift a little bit for the animal cage that I want to, still potentially put up some good numbers in there for a full power exhibition, and pulled 755 for a very, very easy single last week, Friday, right after my heavy bench day, and just blew it out of the water. And so I think we're going to be really on schedule to pull 800 for reps, as long as the bench schedule doesn't get affected at all, because that's priority. Squat this week, probably going to be upwards of close to 700. With that, I'm going to be flipping alternate weeks, so heavy week with squat, heavy week with deadlift, and kind of going back and forth. But the goal in the cage is something smart, obviously, but 700 for reps on squat, and that's just sleeves, and then 600 plus on bench for that, and then 800 for probably a double or so for deadlift. But definitely exciting. Wanting to stay smart, wanting to keep everything going. Massages going. Basically, once every couple weeks, I'm getting a good massage that gets everything loose and gets the tendonitis kind of worked out. Definitely drinking a lot of water. I probably drink upwards of more than a gallon a day of just water. But I definitely drink other things like juices and milk and sodas and things like that. So I'm definitely getting a lot of water intake. Calorie intake right now is at least 7,000. Normally, depends on the training day. I actually don't eat as much on training days as you would think, because during that time I'm not eating. And so I typically eat more after or before, and that might bump me into the 8,000 range or something like that. But definitely a lot of food, and just kind of keeping things going, keeping the weight still under 300. I don't really have any. I'd like to be under 300 when I go for 700, but it's not a deal breaker. If I feel really, really good and we're hitting 650 for 2 in a 3-4 week span and I'm 310, so be it. 700 is the plan, no matter what. I can always drop weight later on and do another meet. I've got more meets in the future. But we'll see. Right now I'm sitting about 295, 296 any given morning, and it feels good. I'm eating a lot and getting a lot of good recovery, so it's not like I'm limiting my weight. I just don't want to eat more. And if I'm still getting stronger, I think I'm doing fine. But if you guys haven't already, I asked you guys earlier, if you want to subscribe, I really would appreciate it. If you guys like the channel, definitely, like the video, share it with your friends. If you subscribe, you'll definitely get a video like this every week leading up to 700 pounds. And then once that happens, I'm going to have a couple big meets after that. I think we'll probably do some full power training, keep you guys in the loop with that. Just as long as you guys are excited to watch the videos, I'll keep cranking them out. If you guys have questions, comments, want to submit a question for submission onto the actual Q&As section, you can do it through the comments. You can send me an email, swimhack@gmail.com, or you can follow me on Instagram, like I said, and just shoot me a DM over there. That's actually pretty instant. I get those all hours of the day, and I pretty much respond right away. But I really do appreciate you guys tuning in, and hope I didn't throw you for a loop with that left hand earlier, but I really do appreciate it. And tune in next week for week 72. We got 600 for a triple. See ya.